Aurecon, we're wanting to look for someone that we're able to collaborate with and to build upon their identity within their new workplace. And a big part of that was the cultural narration, working with their Rautaki Māori strategy team within Aurecon to develop a uniqueness within their storytelling. We wanted to understand two things. First was the sense of people, knowing who Aurecon are and what does their workplace mean for them. And then the second is the sense of place, understanding their place here in Tāmaki Makaurau. We explored a few things. One of them was about how can we acknowledge the past of Tāmaki Makaurau, and how can we start to resurface, peel back the layers of history and bring that into our design discussion. Under all of that, we developed a name to help put a plan on a page, and that idea was the Curious Adventurer.
By having a blank canvas, not only did it allow us to really plan ahead, and like I said, Aurecon was already evolving its workplace strategy of what was the future of our workplace. We already have, a sense of our people to kind of work with a lot more autonomy, and we're set up to do that. But actually what it was probably creating a space which actually just ignited a spark of when you came into the office. There's a big part about our well-being, a purpose-led organisation where to drive through inclusivity was having people that have that sense of belonging, but also that well-being aspect with it. And when you come in here, you get a sense of calmness, but you get a sense of how it makes people feel.
So we worked with Te Aroha Grace, who is of Ngāti Whātua Ōrākei and is a storyteller in his own right. So he was the knowledge holder that was willing to work with us to gift us a lot of motif and a lot of patterning that comes from the ground up. It's gifted visual knowledge that built upon the visual identity of Aurecon's new workplace.
I think Whakakainga came to me as a really ambitious and explorative kaupapa or exercise. Not only for the sake of a journey that I think the organisation was looking to go on for itself, but also the mahi that was ahead of it, or the work that was ahead of it. And naturally took on the advice and stewardship of the local energy, us here in Ngāti Whātua. We were honoured, but it's probably right for organisations to engage us to find a way of how they can connect to the spaces here in Tāmaki. But with Ngāti Whātua involved, it was our endeavour to ensure that we included some of our very tapu mai, our very sacred work, somewhat called spiritual or cultural, but again, for us, it's just a way of life.
One of the things that we did was really challenge ourselves in the engineering and create things that aren't just beautiful but functional and culturally relevant as well. And one of the fantastic examples is our staircase, which is designed to be the stern of the Waka, the vessel that the Curious Adventurers took when they were settling Aotearoa, New Zealand. From an engineering perspective, we used complete timber design. The truss designs represent the stern of the Waka and how it was all built using traditional methods, modernised to today's construction techniques.
For me, a lot of it revolved around the mana of water, because water is so cyclical around us. It moves up through the sky, back down through a whole bunch of spaces. And a lot of the way that we moved through the design was based on that. I mean, if you think of the compass is a navigation tool. The golden weave that we had, while it might be a sacred colour to Ngāti Whātua, which was great, it actually reflects the energy of the lava and the molten lava. But the way that it moves through the building, through the organisation, indeed, is a curriculum.
During the inception of Whakakainga, we were developing our Rautaki Māori, our Māori strategy, and we really wanted to ensure that this was a place that reflected our visions as a company and where we wanted to head in terms of collaboration with iwi, te tiriti partnerships, and having that reflected in our space.
It was really around creating a place of connection and a place where people would feel they belong. Connection not just for our people coming in, but also a connection to the place where we were, putting our new home. We wanted to have representation from not just of our Māori pillar leads, which was critical to the design, but equally all of our diversity and inclusion committees.
So what I think was quite powerful is that from the very beginning, Te Rōpū Māori, our network for Māori professionals, was linked into the kōrero, linked into the conversation, and they were asked the questions, how can we best reflect how we want to work with iwi and have that reflected in design? So I saw Te Rōpū Māori as the weavers of this project. So taking the threads from Ngāti Whātua Ōrākei and taking the threads from the architects and taking our visions, Orocon's visions, and starting to weave those elements to form what's become a beautiful korowai.
You know, Ngāti Whātua felt their mana was enhanced. They like to try and uphold the status of being mana of the whenua. So when their mana is enhanced by their friends through their clever design and the way that they want to belong to a space, you know, this is intergenerational.
So when you step through the doors of Te Tihi, you can really see and feel that collaboration with iwi reflected in the designs of the building. People ask about what the waka staircase means. People take a look at the compass and they wonder what the maunga are that the LED lights point towards. So it's asking a lot of questions and I guess links to that narrative, the curious adventurer.